So one of the reasons we see pitchers not making it through a full game is that they don't have two great pitches. College staffs have 5 to 9 pitchers on average, and that blows my mind. The batter knows is coming. I could tell them, I'm gonna throw you a screwball right now. And with that little tip, they still can't hit it. That's that great. Welcome to the Weekly Dose. I'm Jamie Southern. Thanks for coming back or joining me for the first time. This week, we are going to be talking about having a game plan within the game. I've had numerous extra inning games. I'm talking 20, 21, 24 innings, 17, 13, right? And I was still able to find success or even sometimes lose those games by one run because I knew who I was and I was able to start with a game plan and continue to evolve it. The batters never felt comfortable with what was coming at them. So I know that the game has evolved. It's a different pitcher's game. And there's multiple reasons, in my opinion, of why that's happened, but we know that the bats have gotten better. They're more livelier. Technology has helped batters and hitters get more technique and better mechanics, but the pitchers lack a game plan, and so they're not even able to make it the full 7-inning game, let alone an extra inning, right? We're seeing college staffs have 5 to 9 pitchers on average, and that blows my mind. But when you talk about a pitcher in college now, I mean, we're talking like there's a starter and there's for sure a closer, and there might be a middle relief sometimes, that there's just not enough depth to them to make it through the game. I see a pitcher who doesn't know or doesn't have a game plan. This is what I imagine. I see her as someone that gives out all her secrets in the first inning or the first time through the lineup. So innings 1 through 3, and she's throwing the same thing in innings 5 and 6. And she's out. So we've got to make sure that we first know the importance of having a game plan, and then I'm going to tell you what that looks like. So one of the reasons we see pitchers not making it through a full game is that they don't have two great pitches. And what I mean by a great pitch is this is a pitch that the batter knows is coming. I could tell them, I'm going to throw you a screwball right now. And with that little tip, they still can't hit it. That's that great, right? The only thing they could do is foul it off or they're getting jammed because it's coming in on their hands and my break was so strong. That's a great pitch. The great pitch is telling them like, hey, I'm gonna throw you a changeup. And it fools them so much that it's like, oh gosh, my balance was just still off. That's a great pitch. You have been up to bat before as a batter and you're like, I'm not swinging at this rise ball. Her rise ball is so good, I'm not going to swing at it. And what do? You swing at it because it's that great. Those are great pitches. And for a pitcher to be elite and to grab attention from college coaches, to be a starter on their team, they truly need two great pitches. And then they need to have a good and great changeup. So you're talking about 3 different options to help you get through a game or even more in extra innings, right? In college, we play usually 3-game series on a weekend. And if you're the starter, you're going to almost be in there at least 2 games, if not a third, to maybe come in and close. So you have to have some depth to it. You have to be able to have these great pitches that even though they know they're coming, you're still able to be successful with it. Pitchers these days want to have 5, 6 pitches, and they're all average. Nothing's beating the batter. So you're going to fool the batter maybe the first time through the lineup. Maybe you'll find success because they just don't know what you're throwing yet, but nothing is fooling them. Nothing is getting where it's like, oh, I don't want to swing at this. Man, that looked good. How did I miss it? That's not happening. So they're making more contact. You see back in the day, and I'm 40 years old, so back in the day, I mean, we're getting 7 to 10 strikeouts every single game. What are we getting now, right? And so we're looking at these pitchers that just have these average pitches because they want more. More is not better, right? I want you to challenge yourself to say, okay, this pitch has potential and I want to get it great. I want to get this pitch great because I'm going to be better for it. My team's going to win more. I'm going to get more strikeouts. I'm going to find success. And I'm going to make it through these games like other pitchers can't. So now, as a pitcher, a coach can look at me and say, gosh, I can count on her. So let me give you an example of what my game plan was. And I didn't have one game plan, right? But this is just one example. So some games I would start. Now remember, my great pitches were my screwball, my changeup, my curveball. Now my rise ball was good. My high screwball was great. So when I needed to go up, I most likely went with my high screwball. So now, if you look at it, I had a great screwball, a great curveball, a great changeup, and a great high screwball. My drop, I didn't really use it, but I could spot a fastball low enough, okay? So that was probably my weakest pitch, but it never hurt me because I could place it consistently. So the start of the game, if the team knew me and we'd faced them before, they knew that I had an incredible changeup. So I wouldn't show it to them. I would say, you know what? I'm not even going to give them my changeup yet because I know I can beat them on my other pitches. So I might have just gone heavy on my inside jamming, screwballs, high screwball. Maybe I went outside for just a setup pitch and then go for the strikeout, but they saw a lot of inside pitches. The second time through the lineup, I would have started to put in that changeup a little bit, right? So every batter, most likely, depending on the level and the ability of the batters, but in college, most likely, everybody's going to get one changeup. I would be smart about it. To the ones that might have been towards the end of the lineup that wanted a slower speed, I would just place it out a little bit more where they couldn't really touch it. And then the third time through the lineup, they're like, what is going on? What am I going to get? Am I going to get a changeup? She struck me out on a changeup. She struck me out on this, or I got jammed on a screwball. There's so many options now. So now I can see what kind of adjustments they have made. Maybe they're sitting back on a changeup and I don't throw them one other changeup again. Right? So that third time through the lineup, you can't decide it. I don't know yet because I need to see how they react. So that was my game plan. Start them in heavy, then go to the changeup, and then play with them a little bit. So I encourage you to sit down, figure out what your go-to pitches are, what gives you those strikeouts. You do get strikeouts. So with what pitches, right? What are your setup pitches? What is your game plan? Are you going to start? Sometimes I started my changeup first time through the lineup. They all saw changeups, and then the second time I didn't throw one changeup. So last week, if you did the homework, you were asked to rate your pitches and why. I want you to take that list now, and I want you to come up with a couple game plans. And you may have to sit down with your pitching coach, or maybe your parents or somebody. That's okay. But I want you to think about it. And remember, it's going to be different for every team because maybe there's a team that hasn't seen you before. And maybe your game plan is my curveball is so good, I'm going to stick with it 2 times through the lineup, where then the third they're crowding the plate and then I jam them in. Doesn't mean you have to go all screwballs, no screwballs, right? But think about what can help you because every pitcher out there is different and every pitcher has different strengths and weaknesses and knows how to use their pitches or not, right? So figure out, get some advice from some of your coaches that you trust, and come up with a couple of game plans. Now, if you're unsure of what you can come up with a game plan, that right there might tell you that you have too many average pitches and that you don't truly have like a go-to that you can use. So I encourage you to self-reflect and figure out what might be best for you to come up with a game plan moving forward. Now, you may also just be in the beginning stages, and that's okay. You have a fastball inside and a fastball outside, and maybe you can put it on and off the plate. Right there is a perfect example. Sometimes the batters at the younger ages struggle to even make an adjustment, so you may get to stick with your game plan the entire game. But we have to be able to get that thought in our head because that eventually changes and the batters do get better. And you're going to add pitches. So your game plan will continue to evolve as you go through your pitching journey. So on Wednesday evening, remember we will be live on Facebook to answer questions. So shoot those to me in the messages, or if you want to write the questions in the comments live, that would be perfect. We will take someone's example and be able to kind of go over it so you can figure out how to analyze all this information to see if your game plan fits for your daughter. So remember, tomorrow we will be posting the workout of the week. If you're new, every Tuesday we will give you a workout that you can practice with your catchers or your parents, whoever catches you during the week on your own, to have a meaningful practice and not just kind of go through the motions. So this week's workout will definitely go with helping you with your game plan, and so you get to try it out. So I look forward to seeing you guys on Wednesday. Have a great week.